Hello, everybody. Dr. Lee Coleman here. Glad you're with us. Let's make it today. Let's make this session about a news issue, but it's one that ties right back into the whole theme of these discussions, and that's violence in our society, the horrible tragedies that come upon us daily of violence with weapons. And does psychiatry have any meaningful role? Can it help us? And as you know, the president seems to be strong on this idea, screening find the dangerous ones in our society, build hospitals to house them. And I'm here to tell you it's a terrible, terrible idea, but also to let you know that we've been down that road. We don't need to speculate on what will happen. The evidence is overwhelming that it'll not only be a misplaced effort that will not accomplish anything, but it'll thereby drain our energy from potentially better solutions. Now, I want to quote myself. There's nothing that's more fun than quoting yourself. We all know that. So I want to do that by reading you a sentence or two from the book, The Reign of Error, Psychiatry, Authority and Law, which was published, my book, in 1984 by Beacon Press. And it's the concluding chapter, page 243. I say, because the book is basically about taking state power away from psychiatry. You know that if you've been following my discussions. So what I say here is, quoting myself, divorcing psychiatry from all state authority might thus encourage us to develop genuine solutions to problems. Let us consider the problem of violence as an example. Once we give up the idea that rehabilitating criminals will reduce violence, then perhaps we will seriously approach the problems from the more valid economic and political rather than medical perspective. Instead of trying to protect ourselves from violence by asking psychiatrists to detect and treat dangerous persons, we might focus more attention on those dangerous situations that we could alter. Most murder victims in America, for example, are killed by people they know, not by criminals. The murderers are friends, lovers, or neighbors. I believe it is the ready availability of handguns that escalates family or neighborhood disputes into lethal violence. We are concerned about our appalling murder rate, yet we do nothing about the weapons that flood our society. End of quotation. Now, I know some of you might be listening, might have a very different opinion about weapons. So be it. But I urge you, don't leave the discussion because of that. There are too many issues that are in common with all of us, regardless of our opinions on that particular issue. The more general issue is we don't want to take the approach where mental health professionals examine individuals to pick out those who might do something. Instead, we look at situations which will encourage certain kinds of behavior, because that is a process in which we all weigh in on. We need legislative action, we need political reform, we need programs, etc. Now, my other big area that I address in this chapter about addressing situations rather than medical or psychiatric evaluations of individual has to do with the role of alcohol. So I want to talk about that. Not everybody who commits atrocities is drunk, but the role of alcohol in all kinds of unacceptable behavior is huge. Yet, as a society, we glamorize alcohol every single day. Compare with the situation with smoking. We had a major problem of addiction to smoking throughout the world. The United States initiated a series of political actions which led to social change around the issue of smoking. Gradually, gradually, the rate of smoking has gone down and down and down, and you can see it when you visit other countries, although they're behind us. We made a major change, not through medicine and psychiatry, but through changing the environment. Alcohol should be the subject of the same kind of effort, where we, in so many ways, just put out the message, this is a bad thing to be doing. If you go into a bar and you see somebody that looks attractive, but you see him smoking, it doesn't exactly help. You don't really want to meet him. Sometimes that's, at least I think, a common reaction. And that's a success story. We changed our attitude about smoking. We could do the same thing with alcohol. We're not going to have psychiatrists pick out the people who are problem drinkers and treat enough of them to solve the problem. That's what we need to do about the problem of violence in our society. And no amount of screening by mental health professionals will ever make a dent on the problem. And what we'll do instead, we will lock up thousands of people. And those thousands of people who get locked up, who would never do anything, eventually will get released. And they will be angry. They will be people who've been pushed further in a direction that made somebody worried about them because they noticed something, but we're never going to actually do anything, and we don't know who those people are. We will merely magnify the problem by making them the unwilling victims of an ill-conceived system of some kind of screening. So resist the temptation with all your will to take the cheap and easy way to a problem of violence when we are so much involved in the system that encourages it. I'll give you one more example before I have to leave you. How can it be that we say we abhor violence and all these tragedies, yet if you turn on the television or go to your computer, you will see program after program in which weapons show people being killed and maimed, and that is entertainment. As long as people get entertained by weapons, then I maintain that we are all guilty in some way of supporting the system that has so much violence. Thanks for coming.